Nestled into the Mulvihill Golf Learning Center, home of the Lehigh University golf team, stands two men playing golf, looking intently at their next shot. Walking by, it's easy to not give a second thought about the sight of this sculpture as it blends into the natural landscape seamlessly, matching the golf atmosphere and placed in just the right spot to be glanced over by golfers. I personally have caught myself overlooking these two men, not thinking about it twice while hitting balls at this range. The creator, Seward Johnson, has put an immense amount of detail into this piece of work. The two men are furrowed in their discussion with expressions that look to be in thought and intense as they look over the range meant to be their golf course. One man, holding a club, is pointing out to the field as if to be pointing where to aim. The other man looks to be pulling a club out of his bag, almost in agreement to start his shot process. The colors they are wearing are slightly outdated but still inherently represent what you would expect to see today on the course. The man holding the golf bag has swooping hair with stray strands out of place to mimic being in the wind. Despite being made entirely out of solid material, the thing that is most breathtaking is how textured these figures look. The clothing that the two men are wearing are bunched and wrinkled in all the right places from the start of their shoulders all the way down to the creases in their pants that are folded and wrinkled in just the way they should be after a long day of walking around the golf course. The way the two men's pants sit on their shoes, barely above the grass, is a small detail that just adds to the natural look that this piece of work has. The sculpture maintains this breathtaking level of detail all the way to the two men's skin having pointed veins bulging in their arms and deep knuckles gripping golf clubs in a golf bag. This is as deep as we should look. For many of Seward Johnson's pieces, they were meant to be visually pleasing and, more importantly, as accurate as possible to real life in order to seamlessly blend into the spaces they were placed in. Seward Johnson is famous for these types of figurative sculptures with works in multiple countries such as France, Australia, Germany, Brazil, and here in America. Johnson began his life born into the family of the famous Johnson & Johnson pharmaceutical giant. When he was fired by his uncle Robert Wood Johnson II, he turned to his passion for art, painting, and sculpting. Seward Johnson has developed his technique into the hyper-realistic style we see today that garners seemingly unavoidable double takes. Many of his sculptures are placed in public places in order to receive the attention of passerbys. One of his most famous pieces, called Double Check, was a sculpture of a man with a briefcase placed by the World Trade Center during the attacks on 9/11, being one of the only things to survive the collapse radius. It was said to be so realistic that firefighters tried to rescue the piece during the attack. Today, Seward Johnson's work remains scattered throughout America and in places around the globe, with Lehigh's Mulvihill Golf Learning Center, part of the Goodman Campus, being fortunate enough to call itself home to Par What. Its subtle colors and fading aesthetic is a timeless piece in a constantly modernizing world, especially in the realm of sports. Despite his passing in 2020, Seward Johnson's legacy will stay watching over fields, stadiums, buildings, and roads in secret, waiting to be noticed by a nearby person's double take. In the case of Par What, the whispers of discussion over what club to hit and where to aim on the green will live on further, cementing itself deep in the roots of its landscape, accompanying golfers honing their swings.